Hello, Peaches. Alright, where do I start? Welcome back to my channel. I always feel so awkward doing intros. I hate them. But yeah, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Sage. As you can see, I like to grow plants, and that is what this channel is about, is just tracking and sharing my plant growth, specifically anthuriums. Yeah, that's basically it. And this is Peaches. Miss Peaches. Okay, so what do I have for you guys today? I have a few different things. Actually, this is kind of like 4 things in one. I wrote them down so I could actually stay on track, because there is going to be a lot that I'm going to talk about today. So there is that warning. I guess I'm just going to tell you guys what I wanted to go through today so you guys have an idea of what this video is about. So I really want to give you guys a room tour, like a plant room tour. I actually cleaned everything and it looks pretty good in here for the first time in probably I don't know, it's been a while. This room's typically a mess. I have a picture of what it used to look like. Yeah, I'm really proud of myself. Yeah, anyways, a little distracted there. A room tour. I'm basically going to show you guys the plant room, what it looks like, because you guys have never actually seen outside of the grow tent, I don't believe. The next thing I'm going to show you guys, or talk to you guys about, is going to be my general experience with the grow tent. I think I already said this, but I think the last video that I did showed you guys a grow tent and talked about it and whatnot was 5 months ago. That's when I actually set this up and everything. So I haven't actually done a grow tent review. But yeah, I'm going to talk just a little bit about that. I'm not going to dive too deep into that. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about, just very briefly, is going to be the potting mix that I'm currently using. Well, potting mix, it's not really a mix. You guys will see, obviously, but I'm just going to touch a little bit on what growing medium I'm using right now. And then the last thing that I have on this is just going to be new growth. Okay, so I guess let's start with the room tour. Let me show you guys what I did to it. I think it looks really good right now. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to move you, Peaches. I'm sorry. Okay, I guess I don't really know where to start this. So I guess I'll start at the door so I can give you guys an idea of the layout of the room. So this is the grow tent, obviously to the left, and it literally takes up half of the room and goes from the floor to almost the ceiling. It's a 5 by 9 by 7, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Obviously, you can fit a lot in here. I just love the fact that I can stand up and move around in here, because in my old setup, I don't know if you guys have seen my older videos, but I had a 5 by 5 by, I think it was probably 6 feet tall, or at that, maybe a little less. But yeah, it was pretty tight, pretty cramped. It just wasn't comfortable to move around in. So yeah, this was a really cool upgrade that I am very happy about that I did. Yeah, so we'll move on from there. As you can see, we've got kind of my work area over here. This is where I do all of my propagating, repotting, stuff like that. So now that it's actually clean, hopefully I'll be able to get to doing more videos about that, since I have a good space to work in now. I think I have an old picture of what this room used to look like before I organized it today. It was just a mess, but over here I've got a lot of my mom's anthuriums. I think most of these I gave to her, and then I just recently moved them back into this room. And then just a few other things. Got a begonia right here, and then up here one of my mom's Hoyas. I don't know which kind that is, but it's very pretty. And then just a little Maranta right here. And then obviously my desk, pretty bare right now, not too much to talk about. And then underneath I've got all of my potting substrates, all of that. And there's just my pots and whatnot. This is actually gonna be a really quick room tour because there's not I mean, like, it's not a tiny room, but it's not the biggest, so there's not too much to show you guys. And then I'll kind of glaze over this. This is the closet. This used to be my old room, hence why there's like clothing and whatnot in here. And since I moved rooms, I just don't have anywhere to put these jackets, so they've kind of just stayed in here. Don't ask me why there's not a door. We're just gonna skip over that completely. And then it's still kind of a mess in here, but I've just got all of like my shipping stuff. Some like glass vases for like future anthuriums. And then just kind of like some random stuff over there. But yeah, I mean, like, that's basically it. There's not a whole lot else to show you guys. This is the door, the other side of the room. I'll show off my cool Totoro light switch. Yeah, so that's kind of it. That was pretty quick. That was a lot faster than I thought it was gonna be. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next thing on my list, which is my experience using a grow tent. So let me set the camera up really quick. Okay, yeah, that was a lot faster than I thought it was gonna be. Yeah, I just think it's cool because I don't remember how long ago I posted this video, but I did like a room tour a while ago, like definitely over a year ago, and that was when this was still my room. And it's just crazy to see like how much things have changed since then. I don't know if I still have that video up, but I can put like a few screenshots or whatever of what my collection used to look like. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. So like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and quickly go over kind of like my general experience of using this grow tent, and you know what I think about using a grow tent for anthuriums and like plants in general, because I do have a few like philodendrons and alocasias in here as well. And just a quick thing, I went back and looked at my old videos, and I actually got this tent 7 months ago, not 5 months. So it's been with me. I set it up 7 months ago, and I think I actually probably set it up longer, just because it takes me so long to like edit and like get the motivation to record. So I've probably had it for maybe 8 to 9 months now, which is pretty cool to think about, because I mean, yeah, I think I did buy it like last summer. Yeah, so like I was saying, I actually got this tent around 8 to 9 months ago, and so far I have been really enjoying it. I currently have 2 fans set up in here. I do have a humidifier currently, but I don't honestly use it. The humidity is held so well in this tent that it just stays around, I think probably like in the 70 to 80s, which is decently high. So yeah, from my experience, this tent holds heat, it holds humidity really well. On the inside, as you can see behind me, it's got like reflective material on the inside, so all of that light, you know, is going towards your plants, which is a really nice thing about, I think, growing in a grow tent, is because it's such a like controlled environment, which is probably like the biggest thing that I've enjoyed about having like this setup, is the fact that, you know, I can keep the humidity up consistently, I can keep the heat up consistently. I know that the light is being optimized as much as it possibly can in here. So all of that has been great. Some issues that I have run into definitely comes from lack of airflow, I would say. Like I said, yes, I do have 2 fans in here, and both of them are oscillating fans, so they move like around. But I don't really have any source of like fresh air coming in here, because I currently have all of like the little vent holes sealed off. They give you like a lot of areas that you could like add ventilation to this tent. I just don't really have like a way to do that in here, because like it's so close to the wall, it's just completely boxed in. And I don't want to open up those vents because I don't want the humidity leaking out into the room and making it like super humid in the room, especially since I have things like clothes in here and whatnot. So I want to keep the humidity inside the tent, and like I said, it does a great job at that, but it's at the cost of having good airflow. And this is just a negative in like my case, because you know, if you do get a tent, you can totally have the option to add airflow, and you probably won't run into some of the issues that I have. And some of those things that I have seen is like yellowing on the leaves and kind of like more like bacterial issues from what I have seen. I haven't gotten anything super bad, like any fungal diseases, but I definitely have seen kind of like a mildewy like buildup on the leaves, which just happens kind of over time. But I think being in such an enclosed space with not a lot of air circulation kind of makes things get a little like gross faster. Like earlier I was cutting off some like really old leaves on one of my plants, and when it like dropped, it literally just like a bunch of like dust came off of it. So I also think a lot of kind of like the yellowing and like damage that I see on like the corners of my leaves and around like the edges of the leaves is coming from the lack of airflow. I think that if I did have like vents set up, or if I had like the vents a little more open, the leaves wouldn't yellow as fast and that there just wouldn't be as much damage overall. But honestly, other than that, like I haven't really had any other like cons to having like a grow tent. And if anybody's curious of what I typically keep it around, I have this little humidity reader right here, and it says that the maximum is around 86 Fahrenheit to 70 Fahrenheit, and the maximum humidity is from 95 to 57, and it's probably just at 57 that low, because I've had the door open for like 2 hours now, probably longer actually, because I've been cleaning for like 4 hours. So yeah, the humidity dropped really low, but currently it's sitting at 77 Fahrenheit. Hopefully you guys can see that, and 76% for the humidity. So, and typically the humidity is higher because the door is closed. So I think it usually sits around, I think I already said this, but I think it usually sits around like 75 to 80% and maybe even higher, especially in the summers. It definitely gets higher. It gets freaking hot and humid in here. It's gross. Doing plant chores like in the summer, not fun. But anyways, yeah, so like I was saying, I honestly don't have anything bad to say about using a grow tent. I haven't really noticed anything. I think, oh, one thing that I can add on actually as a con, and maybe this was just my dumb mistake for putting like metal shelves in, but I have noticed rust, which really sucks on like the poles of these shelves. So I think if you are planning to set up something like what I have, maybe go for like plastic shelves or something that's not gonna rust, obviously. I should have thought about that one, but I didn't. So I'm gonna have to deal with that in the future. Yeah, and then I think like a potential concern that I have had and still kind of continue to have is kind of like electrical stuff, because I should probably get some like covers for the plugs. I think there's just been like a little bit of worry about like maybe my fans dying due to like how humid it is in here, especially this one to my right now, because I did have a point where it was like randomly turning off. So I think this one honestly might die eventually. It's lasted me this long, so I'm hoping that it doesn't. But yeah, so like I said, I guess other than those things, I can't actually think of any other cons. So if you are thinking of using a grow tent and committing to getting a grow tent, I would totally say it's worth it. Keep in mind that I have only had this for under a year, so my mind can definitely change within the next year or so. Obviously, I'll be keeping you guys updated with how I'm feeling about the grow tent and whatnot. And if anybody's wondering what kind of tent that I have, I think I've already said it before, but in case I didn't, this is a Gorilla Grow tent. So yeah, I guess we can check that off the list. I don't know where I put my pen, but we are gonna go ahead and move on to my potting medium. And I just want to talk a little bit about this because I have gotten a lot of requests actually from people asking me to talk about like my potting medium and my soil mix. And I've actually over the past few months almost completely switched from from like a soil-based mix and like aeroid mix to a completely semi-hydro medium. And so I'll go ahead and show you guys. Oh, I ran out. I don't have the bags right now, but I will put a picture in so you guys can see what I'm talking about. It's called fluval stratum. It's a aquatic potty mix, so it's meant for like fish tanks and stuff. I don't even know where I heard about it, but I started seeing it kind of starting to pick up like amongst the plant community and like more people using it. So I started getting really curious about it when I started getting more into using like semi-hydro, like leca and stuff like that you could grow in water and like keep wet, so that way you don't have to water it as often. I've always been kind of looking for a substrate like that, because when I was growing in like a soil-based mix and my aeroid mix, I was just having a lot of issues with like keeping up with watering and maintenance of my plants because they were drying out so fast. And I'm just like a very forgetful person, and sometimes I'll go up to like a week without watering my plants, and I just wasn't able to do that in like a aeroid based mix without damaging or like killing my plants. I mean, obviously it depends on how big like the pot is, you know, and how big the root system is, but I would say on average most of my plants that are in stratum can go probably like 5 to 6 days, maybe even 7 days without watering, and they can be fine. And keep in mind that this is very specific to my growing conditions. Things are warm and humid in here, so I think things stay wet for a little bit longer than if you were growing, you know, outside of a grow tent where the humidity is lower. So, you know, if you are thinking about switching to fluval stratum, just keep that in mind. I don't know how fast it would dry out if I wasn't growing in a grow tent. I think that it could be very different growing outside of a grow tent in fluval stratum than inside of a tent, obviously. So I'll just show you guys, I guess, what it like looks like. It's just like these black little pebbles. I actually don't really know what fluval stratum is, I'm not gonna lie. All I know is that it's just an aquatic potty mix, and my plants really like it. I've had some like great root growth in stratum. Here's another one, and like these roots, hopefully you guys can see that. These roots are pretty crazy, pretty happy. Here's like a monster albo that I put in stratum, and you can see those roots. So yeah, I've had some really great results in terms of like how my plants are liking it and how they're all adjusting to it. I have this guy right here, and it's actually been kind of like a one that I've been continuously updating on, and so I can maybe look back and see how long ago I got this, but it was actually shipped to me in fluval stratum, and this was the very first plant that I ever had in stratum before I even bought it. And I think this is actually the plant that made me really want to get into stratum. It was this guy right here, this red crystallium, and it's been in here for a while. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm gonna say like probably like a year. I think the one thing is that stratum is a little costly. It's not on the cheap side, unfortunately. I wish it wasn't such an expensive medium, because I think it'd be, you know, obviously so much more like accessible and I could have so much more, but yeah, it is a little on the pricey side. And hopefully the deal isn't gone by the time I'm done editing and posting this, but I don't know who messed up, but for some reason the 8.8 pound bags on Amazon of this specific fluval stratum, I'll put a screenshot, are on sale. So they're 60% off right now. They're, I think, like $14 per bag when they're usually like, I think they're like 20 something. So I went crazy and bought a whole bunch, and I think you should too. If you are trying to get into stratum, now is the time to buy a bag. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to the last thing that I wanted to go over in this video, which is some new plant growth. I want to show you guys some plants. I'm done talking. It's always so hard deciding what I want to show you guys first. I guess I'll start up here. So I just recently chopped this guy into a bunch of different pieces. This is my Anthurium Noid Eleanor crossed with RLFS. But it just gave me this new leaf, which I'm super happy about. And this one's from Hoya Hole, if anybody is curious. And then I've got this new leaf over here from this Anthurium Ace of Spades crossed with a Indoport. And then over here, this one is actually an update from that last video, I believe. This is the Anthurium Carla X Bess X Cunha X Pap from Chu Anthurium. And this is the newest leaf that it's giving me. Look at how pretty that is. I've been really enjoying this one. And I'm super excited to see what it looks like once it hardens off. I showed you guys this already, but I've got 2 new leaves on this red crystal. And then I really want to show you guys this one. This has been one of my favorites recently. It's a Anthurium Carla X Port. And I got this one from Hoya Hole as well. And then over here, I've got this Anthurium Bessier X Dresslerii that I got in a trade from Aroid Fairy on Instagram. And I don't know how long ago I got it, but this one's also in stratum, and it's taken super well. The roots are going crazy. It's even got one coming out of the top. Yeah, so this one's also definitely one of my favorites. And then over here, I've got this guy. So if you guys didn't notice already, there is something missing, and that is the gigantic red crystal pap that I had here. I officially chopped her up. I propagated her and transferred her into stratum as well. And guys, look at these roots. These roots are gorgeous. Yeah, and this is the newest leaf that she has given me. So super happy about that. I'll go ahead and move down here, starting with this guy. I have been freaking out over this leaf. I mean, come on. So this is a blister variegated Carla X Port. This has definitely been one of the best leaves that it's given me so far. And it's got such an interesting, like, fused little sinus. The variegation on this one is just crazy. I am in love. Okay, and then another one I really want to show you guys is this one. So this is a Anthurium Entelachii, or BVEP, that I got from Woohoo Tropicals. And she's been kind of on the struggle bus for a little bit. I chopped her and transferred her into stratum, and it just took a really long time for it to push any new growth for me, but it did give me some pretty decent roots in stratum. So I think it's just kind of a bit of a slow grower, but that's okay because I'm finally getting some new growth from her. And look at how pretty. Such a nice leaf. Oh, this is an update. Moving on, I guess. This is an update on that last video. So this is the red crystal that I got. It's the Woo 5X Woo 8, I believe. And this is the newest leaf that it gave me. Super sparkly. Really loving this one. Can't wait to see what it looks like when it's bigger. And then I'll show you guys this one. I got this one from another collector off Instagram under the name of Hubert. It's a, I think it's, oh my gosh, I forgot the name. Sweet. And then the last one I'll show you guys on this shelf is this one, which is also an update from that Anthurium haul that I did. So this is the Anthurium Spider Bet, or Carla X Spider Best from Grant Theriums. And this is the last leaf that it gave me. And then it's currently got a new leaf on it, which I have been freaking out over. Alrighty, so moving on to this shelf. Here's something that I did recently. This is a Anthurium HU King of Spades from Cartel Duan. And I just put this in stratum today. So I'll do a little update at some point to show you guys how fast plants root in stratum. And here's another update from that last video I did. This is that Anthurium Carla X BVEP that I got from Woohoo as well. And that's the leaf that it came with when it was shipped, the one that was still unfurling. And then it's got a very new leaf right here, which I have been also freaking out over. I've just been freaking out in general. There's a lot of new leaves. Yeah, so I'll definitely keep you guys updated on this one. I also want to show you guys this. So this is a Anthurium BVEP or Antilocii crossed with a Amy Donovan. And I got this one from Tan Asian with Plants. But I'm also putting this one in here just because I want to be able to look back on this leaf a week from now, because the emergence on these are insane. I'll show you another leaf on a clone that I have. This is the mother plant, actually. And this is the newest leaf. These are definitely one of my favorites. I love these. Okay, so this is Anthurium Red Crystal X BVEP. I could not get this one to grow in anything. But I put it in stratum maybe like 2 months ago, and it just started taking off. Yeah, and so this is the newest leaf, and look at that size up. That's the last leaf, and this one isn't even done hardening off. So it's pretty happy, and I'm very happy that it's happy, because I've had this one for maybe like a year now, and it for the longest time just stayed like the same size, like these tiny little leaves. This one is an update from that haul. It's the Anthurium Cunha PM3 X Black Dresslerii, and this is the newest leaf she's given me. Super cute. I've really been liking this one. It's not super crazy right now, but I think it's definitely going to be a stunner when it gets bigger. Moving on. Okay, so we'll start out with this one. If you guys remember, I had a really pretty Carla X Pap from Jason a while ago, and it disappeared, and that's because it got root rot. And I remember I showed it in a video. It had given a flower, and I had pollinated it with, I think it was pollen from itself from a previous flower, and it got to like the berry stage, and it was starting to give berries, and then it just died. At least I still have the plant in my collection. I actually think I have another cutting somewhere in here. But this is her now. She's small. She's cute. She'll be big again one day. Okay, and then the last two things that I want to show you guys over here is these two guys. So this one right here, not super crazy right now. It's a little bit hard to see, but I don't think you can really see it. Just a tiny bit. This is a cutting from a variegated clarinervium that I got as a trade from a plant buddy, and it gave me this new leaf, and then it killed the next one, but it looks like it's got a new leaf on the way, so I'll definitely keep you guys updated on this one. And then over here I have a cutting of my blister variegated Carla export. And I just wanted to show you guys this leaf that it gave me, which is so pretty. And then this one also has a new leaf as well. So that'll be cool to see what that turns into. Okay, so I'll go ahead and move on to this side of the room. Okay, so something really exciting that I want to show you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna knock some stuff over. Is this right here. I don't really know if I track the growth on this account that much. But I did actually make my first hybrid. So it's a Anthurium forgetii warquianum crossed with a red crystal. And then that is crossed with my Platinum Lux. So I'll show you guys the parents. We've got this guy right here. Oh, and I forgot to show you guys the new leaf that is on here. But yeah, so this is the mama. I'll put some pictures in of the emergence on this one because they're insane. They're so colorful and so dark. And then this is the pollen donor. It is a Platlux. And then I'll show you guys the babies. So, as you can see, they've got these tiny little roots coming out. And I am so happy. And I harvested these seeds on the 29th of last month. So yeah, that is super exciting. Okay, that was honestly a lot faster than I thought it was gonna be, aside from the fact that my phone died twice during that, so I had to sit and wait for it to charge, which was really annoying. But I finished the video. I'm super happy about that. I hope you guys got some useful information out of this. Yeah, I just thought this would be a fun video to make, a little more on the chatty side. But I haven't made a video in a little while, and I was finally feeling motivated for the first time in a while. So yeah, I'm just super excited to be back on here, and hopefully a little more consistent. But if you guys don't see me till next month, don't say anything. We don't acknowledge it. Gosh, I'm actually so annoyed. It literally, my phone died right before I finished this video. That's it. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time.